You mean when John Boehner played golf with President Obama?
Oh, yeah.
Hey, y'all, it's me, David Griscom, your favorite Marxist cowboy co-host of Left Reckoning. And that legend right there is Bo Cephas, Hank Williams Jr.
It'd be like Hitler playing golf with Netanyahu. Well, they're the enemy.
That's a good one, Bo Cephas.
Who's the enemy?
Obama and Biden.
You're damn right, Bo Cephas. Obama was the enemy. That's right. I love Bo Cephas. I love him so much, I went to a concert of Bo Cephas back in August of 2021. And by the way, everybody in New York City, if you're in District 59, be sure you vote for Kristen Gonzalez. And not that No Mickey Const. What kind of name is No Mickey Const? That don't sound Marxist, cowboy. Kristen? That's almost like Christian. You know, that's almost palatable to we Texan Marxist cowboys. Who's gonna take a little damsel in distress with a name like No Mickey, seriously, in Albany? Huh? I mean, come on.
It's No Mickey.
Oh, pardon me. Okay, No Mickey.
No Mickey.
It's even weirder. Anyway, here's my Instagram post from August 8th, 2021, where I made it clear that I attended the concert of the legend, Hank Jr. In response to my post, this boy, Bama Hoya, says, that's a moral conundrum right there, but I get it. Oh, I lost my train of thought. What was I saying before about that lady with the crazy name, No Mickey? Don't vote for her in the upcoming state senate race for New York's District 59, because even though that No Mickey lady, she founded that matriarch organization that aims to train working women to meet the unique challenges of running for office without a direct connection to wealth.
Matriarch says you as a progressive working woman that doesn't have access to general wealth, you deserve to be in Congress because of what you stand for, your policies and your values, your integrity, your character.
And to help those women build competitive, viable campaigns.
That should be seated in Congress. And we're trying to make sure that there is parity in Congress. And so we want to support you. So thank you to Matriarch.
That's a big woke nothing burger, okay?
This is the fight. Women are on the front lines of the pandemic, and now women need to be on the front lines of taking on fascism, because there's nothing that scares that guy more than a teacher, a woman who understands education, who understands her community, who's a union member, who's organized. That is what they're scared of. But that is what it's going to take to win. Because if we don't do this, then what is the alternative? Are we just going to sink another, $1 billion into the Democratic Party ad strategy? That's really been working. So we have to think strategically right now. What are they afraid of? Well, clearly they're afraid of Rashida Tlaib and Ilhan Omar and Nancy Pelosi. I mean, it doesn't matter. They don't care what kind of woman. They're just afraid of women.
Fighting as a progressive advocate loudly in media for a decade, which is the other thing this No Mickey person's been doing. That don't mean nothing. Take it from me, David Griscom, co-host of Left Reckoning. I mean, I'm a leftist with about a decade in leftist media too, but, people like us, unless they're me, you shouldn't take them seriously, okay? Because I'm a real Marxist with a podcast, No Mickey was just a kind of a shit lib, she was a national surrogate for Bernie Sanders. I mean, shit lib, she's been a regular correspondent on Majority Report, which, I used to work with, but I'm a real Marxist. So you got to trust me when it comes to helping you decide who to vote for in the state Senate race for New York's 59th district, coming up in the primary on August 23rd. Sure, I'm in Texas and everything, but, I'm a cowboy, a real Marxist cowboy. Unlike No Mickey, who lives in District 59 in New York. And trust me, Because I used to produce shows for Michael Brooks, and he was a real socialist guy that knew the truth. And so because I produced a show for him, you should trust me. Because, what other, Marxist, comrades are brave enough to go to a Bo Cephas show in 2021, right?
You believe that, don't you? If the South would have won, we'd have had it made. I'd probably burn the president of the Southern states.
If the South had won, I, the Marxist cowboy myself, probably would have voted for Bo Cephas had he run for president of the Southern states. And as I also shared on Instagram and all the other social media spots, people should be rallying behind Gonzalez, who represents real working class politics in New York. Unlike Nomiki over there.
Fight like hell. The untold history of American labor. Kim Kelly is also, she's a labor reporter.
They let me get away with it. Can you believe it? I can't.
How do you feel?
Really happy, and I am really worn out, but I'm excited to talk to you because I'm like, oh my God, finally one of my friends.
Nomiki's not really friends with labor activist and author Kim Kelly. I mean, look, this is just part of the whole shit-lib, fake news media complex, okay?
Well, we love you.
Oh my God. We love you. Love is a bunch of kumbaya, liberal, performative BS. Okay?
This is so well needed, right? The labor movement is having a revival.
Oh,
there's a lot of energy.
Okay.
When did you start writing this book?
Really, like March or April 2020. I was going back and forth from Philly, where I live, to Alabama, where I was covering first an effort by Amazon workers in Bessemer to organize.
Oh, yeah. Sure you did, Kim Kelly, whatever.
And then I got sucked into this coal miner strike down the road.
Whatever.
And I lost track of the amount of time I've been back and forth.
Oh, yeah, I can just imagine that must have been so taxing for you to have to.
So I was like doing all this research and sitting in my little office, like being a little gremlin, typing this book up for half the time. And the rest of the time I was going down to Alabama into this very current and alive labor conflict. It was,
whatever.
It definitely an interesting experience.
Nomiki just tried to make a good name for herself by interviewing people that write big tomes on the victories of the U.S. labor movement and the history of that movement. It's a big nothing burger, okay? That interview on Nomiki's show with Kim Kelly back in May, that was from like 3 months ago, which is like ancient history, okay? If you look at what Nomiki tweeted just a few days ago on August 5th, she tweeted this, talking about the difference between solidarity with movement leaders and organizers with a record as opposed to solidarity with institutions that can be corrupted by their industrial complex and deal-making. Like there's a difference, right? Come on, there's no difference between solidarity with movement leaders and organizers who have a track record compared with solidarity with institutions that can be corrupted. There's no difference between those two things. Who ever heard of an institution that claims to be on the left ever being corrupted? That never happened before, Nomiki. What? You think the Bolsheviks in the Soviet Union were corrupted? Are you crazy? The Chinese Communist Party? The great Marxist victory of anti-capitalist state capitalism run by an authoritarian president for life like they have in China? You think that's been corrupted? You crazy? She says we must be wiser, talking about how this is how movements are killed. As I said, after she tweeted that bunch of big pile of bull honking, this is an anti-left campaign. So take it from me and vote for Kristen Gonzalez. She's like a real Marxist cowgirl savior. Like Evo Morales down there in Bolivia. She gonna really stick it to them corporations, man. So you take it from this Marxist cowboy. Don't you be going and voting no Mickey on me, okay? You gotta vote for Kristen. You can remember it when you think of Christian, right? Vote Kristen in New York's state Senate race, District 59. It's close to 69, which would be better, but, we gotta be rated G and all that. Anyway, hey, thanks for listening, y'all. This is David Griscom. You should check me out on Last Reckoning, where my perpetually pubescent-looking co-host Matt Lack and I are gonna school y'all on how to be real Marxists in the cowboy tradition of being a Marxist, okay? Not like Disco Brian and Disco Ball over there on the Getting Down show.
Oh, no. Right. Is nightmare a verb yet?
Seems like it should be.
I mean, aren't we all nightmaring far too often these days?
Let's nightmare less and dream more.
Yes, let's. See, we are the PPP, the Progressive Party People.
I love it.
I don't know what the hell they're talking about. Trying to use all that degenerate music and that miscegenated festival culture to save democracy or some stupid cockamamie idea like that. We are hard, straight, narrow, and strict. We are deeply reverential in our worshipful respect for the true ideological doctrines of cowboy Marxism. Okay?
We're talking about none other than one of my favorite theorists and thinkers, Vladimir Lenin. In fact, I have my little bust of Lenin on my desk that I always keep up there.
And I hope one day, Hank.
So come on over to Left Reckoning. This is about getting serious and reading the Marxist biblical texts. Voting for Kristen Gonzalez and everybody DSA tells you to vote for, okay? Trust DSA to think for you, because they know Marxism, and I'm a member, and I have a show where I teach people how to be Marxists in my real traditional sense, okay?
Vladimir Lenin, he is incisive. He really developed Marxism into a political force. But that's not all that he did. I mean, he was an incredible leader of the Bolsheviks and led, one of the most successful, communist revolutions in human history.
So let's get back to traditionalism of Marxism, and maybe we'll work out something where I can cook you up a bunch of Texas steaks and stuff. Because Marx's cowboy carbon footprints aren't as big as them big city coastal elitist shit libs like Nomiki's carbon footprint, okay? Anyway, vote for Kristen Gonzalez. Fight for the socialist future with me and Matt Lack and the ghost of Michael Brooks. On Left Reckoning, that's all for now, y'all. Y'all come back now, you hear?
Believe that, don't you? If the South would have won, we'd have had it made. I'd probably burn the president of the southern state. The day was past.